All right, let's talk about something huge, something that's absolutely central to your professional life, your personal brand. But, let's forget about logos and taglines for a minute. We're going to go way deeper, right to the core of who you are and how you actually show that to the world. So let's dive in. I want you to just pause and really think about this for a second. Seriously, I'm not asking how you want to be seen or even how you think you're seen. What is the actual gut level, honest to goodness perception people have of you? This one question, well, it's the key to everything we're about to unpack. So, a great way to think about this is through a little metaphor I like to call the two-way mirror. It's all about that space between the reflection we see of ourselves and the image the world sees when they're looking right at us. And here's the fundamental challenge, right? There's almost always a gap between our intent and our impact. You might see yourself one way, but your colleagues, your customers, your audience, they could have a completely different take. And that disconnect, that can cause some pretty serious problems. This disconnect actually has a name, and just understanding it is the first big step to fixing it. It's called a perceptual gap. So let's break down exactly what that means. So a perceptual gap, in simple terms, is the space between your self-perception and your public reputation. It's that void where all the misunderstandings happen, and it's what brand experts, whether for giant companies or for individuals like you and me, work so hard to close. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory, it's reality. It is incredibly common for our audiences to see us through a totally different lens than we see ourselves. And that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but it is something you absolutely have to be aware of. So let's look at how this plays out in real life. You might think you're projecting confidence, right? But your team, they might perceive it as arrogance. You see your own process as creative, maybe a little free-flowing, but they just see it as disorganized. You feel like you're being super efficient, but to them, it just feels rushed. See the problem here? And make no mistake, these are not small issues. When your audience sees you differently than you intend, it creates these massive communication disconnects. You're just not connecting with them the way you need to. Your message, your value, your entire brand, it all gets lost in translation. So the million-dollar question is, how do we fix this? How do we actually close that perceptual gap? Well, the good news is there's a really clear, actionable way to do exactly that. It really all comes down to doing a little research. Think of it like a mini focus group for your personal brand. First step, you got to identify your key audience. Who are you actually trying to reach? Step 2, you have to ask for truly candid feedback. And I mean the real stuff, not just what you want to hear. And the most important part, step 3, you have to actually listen to what they say and then analyze it for the real insights. And here's the real key, the best part. You don't have to guess how you're perceived. The answer is right there with the very people you're trying to reach. They have the data you need. You just have to be willing to ask for it, and more importantly, to really hear it. Okay, but wait, just fixing perception? That's only half the battle. To build a brand that's truly authentic, that's powerful, and lasts, we've got to go deeper. We need to look at your brand's true foundation. Because here's the big secret, an authentic brand isn't something you just put on like a costume. It's not about just managing what people think. A really strong, resilient brand is just an expression of what is already inside of you. It's built from the inside out. And that solid foundation, what is it? It's your personal value system. These are your non-negotiables, right? The core principles that guide every single thing you do. Think of it like the source code for your brand. And I mean, just look at how much your values influence. They literally shape how you see the world and what drives you in your career. They're the basis for your opinions, they dictate your behaviors, and ultimately, your values determine how you show up and engage with everyone and everything around you. If that isn't the very definition of a personal brand, I don't know what is. So now we've got the two key pieces of the puzzle. We have external perception on one hand, and we have your internal foundation on the other. The final, most important step is bringing them together. This is where the real magic happens. And this right here, this is the ultimate goal. It's not just to be perceived well, it's to be perceived accurately. It's all about closing that perceptual gap so the world sees a true, honest reflection of the values that drive you. When what you believe on the inside finally matches what people see on the outside, that is brand alignment. That's real authenticity. You see, this whole journey is really about gaining knowledge, which gives you power. Understanding your values, that brings self-awareness.
Understanding your audience's perception, that brings market awareness. And when you combine those two, you gain the power to build a brand that is both truly authentic and incredibly effective. So I'm going to leave you with this. Forget about your job title or your list of accomplishments. Just for a moment, think about that foundation. What is the one core value that you want to be known for? Really? Because answering that question, that's the first step to building a brand that truly matters.